Welcome back. We're debating the state of American values in a post-9/11 world and how certain groups are perceived as a threat. With me discussing this topic are well-known conservative commentator David Horowitz, who's actively campaigning for awareness against what he has labeled Islamo-fascists, and we also have Arab American activist Dr. Hussein Ibish. Dr. Ibish regularly tackles the issue of negative stereotyping of ethnic groups in America. Let's get back to our debate with a call from Chicago. Khalid is on the line. Khalid, what would you like to ask?
Well, I got a couple of questions.
Okay.
First, the question the question is just that I want to say to Mr. Horowitz that he's mistaken. The Muslim Brotherhood never created Hezbollah. That's a very bad mistake. Yes, but he did say Hezbollah also. And the other thing is the point about what is his definition of what is a moderate Muslim. That's one question. The second question is this: is that why does he have want these people to make these condemnations over and over and over again? What exactly will that do? I mean, who are these people? Students.
Okay.
And they're not,
I want them. I want them.
People in power.
Okay, Khalid, let's let Mr. Horowitz answer that.
I want them. Yeah, I want them. First of all, I only said Hamas was created by the Muslim Brotherhood. I want them to make the statement once. They have refused continually over the course of a year, when confronted many times, to just simply say, I condemn Hamas as a genocidal terrorist organization, or they could even just say a terrorist organization. In the same way, I would like to hear Riaz Khan and other people on this network criticize their network for having a birthday celebration for a monster named Samir Kuntar, who murdered a father in front of his 4-year-old and then smashed the 4-year-old's brains out.
Okay.
Why is Al-Jazeera supporting? Why is Al-Jazeera supporting this Muslim terrorist?
You know what's fantastic?
The problem, there are millions. Listen, don't interrupt me.
Yeah, go ahead.
There are millions and certainly hundreds of millions of Muslims who want to live peacefully with other people. But I don't hear a lot of Muslim voices condemning the most heinous criminal organizations like Hezbollah and Hamas. It's easy to condemn, to attack Osama bin Laden at this late date. He's probably dead anyway.
Let me get a quick question from you, Mr. Horowitz. Mr. Horowitz, a quick question.
To destroy, sure.
Yeah, Khalid in Chicago also asked, what do you define as a moderate Muslim? What would you say a moderate Muslim is?
Oh, I think I think a moderate Muslim is no different from a moderate Christian or a moderate Jew. I would like to hear, tolerance for other groups, concern when there's a concerted effort by your own community to destroy, for example, a Jewish state, or when the prophet says that Jews should be exterminated. I want to hear a Muslim say that hadith is inauthentic, or that saying of the prophet is not something I agree with.
I think plenty of people have said that, but it's extraordinary.
I can't
it's extraordinary.
Get one now you're Muslim Students Association. Let's say
now you're interrupting me, so I think you should return the courtesy.
Yeah.
What I find extraordinary is that Mr. Horowitz wants to lecture everyone else, about what they say, and he doesn't want to take responsibility for the articles posted on his own website. I mean, it's a website. You run it, you read it, and you don't seem to. You wouldn't take responsibility for anything that's up there. Let me throw a couple more at you. Listen to this one. Arabs do nothing on impulse. Muslims have no allegiance to their country. Their only allegiance is to Islam. That's what they've been taught since birth. That's all they know. Muslims have no borders. Now, I'm sure you would agree with me. That is the international Jew, the old anti-Semitic stereotype, rewarmed and turned into the international Muslim. That's from your own website. That's from an article on your site. Why do you publish that? Why would you publish that? Explain it to me. Like I'm a 3-year-old. Explain it to me.
First of all, if you want to discuss these questions, you probably should have Robert Spencer.
No, that's on your site.
Rather than me.
No, that's on your site.
I don't think that it's any more horrific to say for someone to describe Osama bin Laden as a moderate Muslim or an extremist Muslim, or David Horowitz as an extremist or a moderate. That's a point of view. And what I said is that like Al Jazeera, I don't censor every a person that utters a statement on my website. I'm not responsible for everybody's statements.
It's extraordinary. You publish those articles.
Actually, Doctor,
you print them. These are not comments.
I mean, I'm sure that Riz Khan does not want to be held responsible for every utterance on his show.
Publisher.
I mean, that is ridiculous.
You're the publisher.
Okay, Dr. Ibish, 1 second. Mr. Horowitz, one thing that, when I asked you about the definition of a moderate, you said, of course, you believe in tolerance and you believe in, a sort of tolerant word. It sounds, though, even if these articles, you're saying that you're just publishing them on your website, they're other people's words, they don't really promote the idea of tolerance.
I think you're wrong. I mean, I've always promoted tolerance and ecumenicism, and I have invited, I always, if I'm, will invite people to come onto my platforms, and I'll debate them, and I do show respect for them. What I don't have respect for is when there is a concerted movement in the Muslim world to destroy the Jewish state and to kill the Jews, and I use those words advisedly.
I mean, do you support the creation of a Palestinian state? That's a simple question. Should we have two states, Israel and Palestine, living side by side in peace?
Yeah. Do you support the creation of a Palestinian state in Jordan, which is 70% Palestinian?
No, in Palestine, alongside Israel, according to international law.
So it's only the perfect.
Yeah. This is an international consensus. It's also George Bush's point of view.
Jordan is a Palestinian state.
So you don't want.
Because I don't believe. No, because I agree with the statement. I believe that the Palestinian national movement, which was founded, by the way, by a Nazi, Al-Hussein, literally an ally of Hitler, who went to Berlin but just look. Let me
you complain about people. You want to destroy Palestine. And you complain about people that destroy you.
No, I don't want to destroy. No, I just said I want Jordan to be a Palestinian state.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's exactly right. So in other words, you don't want any Palestinian state in Palestine. You want to ship the Palestinians.
Let me squeeze in one last. Let me squeeze in one last call, gentlemen. Let me squeeze in one last call before we, because we have very little time.
I do want a Palestinian state in Jordan.
Yeah, fine. And so Hamas may say they want
North Carolina on the line. North Carolina on the line. Yusuf has a question. Yusuf, go ahead.
And they can annex the West Bank.
Mr. Horowitz. Mr. Horowitz, what do you say?
In Iraq, they have found a mosque that Muqtada al-Assad was torturing the people in the mosque. Why the Muslim world are silencing and keeping silence and they don't say anything about this murder thing? This question is for Mr. Hussein.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, let's squeeze in also John in Paris. We've got John in Paris. We'll take these back to back. John, go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say we seem to be moving from the central theme, which is the impact of the war on terror on the United States, and I think that we have to take into account the way democratic values in the United States have eroded since 2001 with programs like extraordinary rendition and the way people have been deprived of their basic rights.
So.
I think that is absurd. I think that statement is just absurd. American citizens have lost a lot of their freedoms because of Muslim terrorists. As for example, every time I go through an airport, I have to be searched.
But that's obviously, that's how Americans reacted.
However, the rendition program doesn't affect any American citizens.
Well, Mr. Horowitz, Dr. Ibish, I've got to stop you here because we have unfortunately run out of time. Listen, I hope we get a chance to continue this debate. We always have not enough time for this. I thank you for being with us as well. Now, before we leave you, a word of appreciation for a guest we had on the show a couple of months ago. Young British journalist and blogger Adrian Sudbury joined us in May from Leeds in Northern England to talk about his battle with leukemia. He finally succumbed to that disease on Wednesday at the age of 27. When I asked him what his message to the world is, this is what he had to say.
Leukemia is an incredibly indiscriminate disease. It doesn't care about race, religion, background, wealth, class. It can affect anybody at any age. And the fact that there's this huge misconception surrounding the bone marrow donation procedure, I think, is stopping many thousands of people around the world from potentially getting better and being saved. And what I'd like to say to people, of course, through this sort of show is that it really is an incredible international effort. These registers around the world do all link up, and if anyone is thinking of becoming a donor, and please do think hard about it, you could be potentially saving somebody else's life anywhere else on the planet.
Well, Sudbury was described as a true hero by British Prime Minister Gordon Brown for his campaign to raise awareness about bone marrow donation. His memory lives on. God bless him. A programming note for you. For the next 2 weeks, we'll be taking the show with to the Democratic and Republican National Conventions in Denver, Colorado, and Minneapolis, St. Paul in Minnesota. We'll be taking a closer look at the issues in the upcoming American elections and how they will impact the rest of the world. The show will come to you live at a new time during those 2 weeks, so do tune in at 0030 hours GMT to take part. And we look forward to that. From me and the team, we'll see you next time.